Hi, good day, and welcome back. So today we're just going to continue from where we left off. At our first part, we did the installation of the VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox, using with the use of a VM. So today we're just going to add operating system to that VM. All right. So first thing to begin with, we need to make sure that we have an operating system to be installed. So just let me just double check, see if I have this image. All right, so I have this image on a removable drive software, so it's on my D drive, and we're going to install Windows 10 today. All right, it's an ISO file, which is this image. All right, basically it's just that's the file format. All right, so you're going to open up VM. We're going to do it several ways, but I'm going to show you one, and subsequent video I'll show you how to do it, how to get it done the other way. All right, so we're just going to click on new. All right, we're going to type in the name, which is Windows 10. All right, the file folder, this is where the file itself, the contents of this operating system on the VM will be stored. The ISO file, we're not going to select that just yet. The type, it's Microsoft Windows, and the version, it's Windows 10 64-bit. If you click on the drop down arrow, you can have array of an option selected, right? So we're going to install the Windows 10, the 64-bit version. Right, hit next, and we're going to go through the hardware now. So remember, this is a VM that we're going to use, and it's basically sharing the resources of our main system. All right, we're going to leave the base memory as default. We're going to use one processor. This system that I have running, it has a 10 gig, and it's a quad core, but we're going to use one core for the basis of this video. The hard disk, the default size could be 50 gigs, whereby we could actually increase it, but we're going to leave it as I'm saying. It's just for the purpose of demonstration, so we're going to leave the default size at 50 gig. We can actually move this though. Right, and it just gives us a summary of what we have done, and we click finish. Alright, so that's it, but the OS is not installed just yet. Alright, now if we can, now we just have created a profile for this OS. Alright, so we now need to click start. Alright, when we click start, now it will now ask us to, it will attempt to run, prompting us for the ISO file. Alright, just gonna enlarge this. Alright, so here it's now asking us for the ISO file. Alright, so like I said, we need to remember exactly where we have that stored. Click on order. Remember, I have it stored on my D drive into software, and we're gonna select the ISO file Windows 10. We hit open, mount and retry. Alright. Right, and it will take you through the process of the installation process. Right, and the process is about to start. Now the speed of this installation, it all depends on how fast basically your system is. Alright, how much RAM you have. That will determine the overall speed of this process. Alright, so it's now taking me to the file. So we're going to choose the language as English, UK, and the time and currency would be in the English. US keyboard is US also. Hit next and install now, because we're not going to repair the system, we're just going to do an install now. Alright, so basically what we have, as you can see, this is, we're going to load operating system in a virtual machine whilst having our main operating system running in the background. Alright, so it's asking for some instructions. We don't have a product key, so we just click on that, and we're going to choose the version. It's Windows 10 Pro using a 64-bit, and we click next. 50 gig should be sufficient to run Windows 10, so we shouldn't have any issue. This is your terms and condition. You can give it a little scroll through, hit accept the license terms. Alright, we're gonna do custom install. Always do a custom install if you're doing a Windows installation, just to see what we have. So we have 50 gigs and we're gonna use the entire 50 gigs. If you have a bigger hard drive, what you could have also done was to include a partition size. I'm just gonna modify it just to show you demonstration. So the partition size is done in megabytes and the size is in gig, so it's 1050 megabytes for 1 gig, and hit apply. Alright, okay. Alright, so just for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to show you. So we've split the main hard drive into 2 separate parts. Alright, so we could actually install on either one of these partitions. Alright, but for the purpose of this video, we're not going to do that. We're just going to delete the partition that we created. But you can actually have 2 windows installed on one system. Alright, just delete that. We just click next for that entire chunk of the hard drive that we've created, the 50 gigs. Alright, and from here now it's going to install the Windows. At this point it's going to take a little while, so I'm just going to fast forward this video and I'll catch you back in a bit. Okay, so just checking in, we are 91% completed with this installation, well 92. Alright, so what we're doing so far, we're trying to install Windows 10 on virtual box virtualization, and we have a host machine running in the background. What basically virtualization does, it takes the imprint of the host system, the host machine, which is the network card or audio drivers. It shares basically everything that the host system does, but it allows you to run multiple operating system or on any platform, basically, whether it be Windows, Linux, iOS, right, Mac that is, on this system, right? So you can run multiple OS within this virtualized machine, right? So we're 97% completed. The installation was completed. We're now installing features. We continuing installing updates, and we almost there now. Doing installation, it's more or less a patience game, so we just have to wait it out and see exactly how it goes. Alright, normally I would just like to watch something while I'm doing an installation because it takes a while. Alright, so you just have to be a little patient with installing an operating system. It takes a while. Alright, so we're still doing updates, and like I said, this process could be much faster, slower, based on the performance of your system. I've seen this done in like the twinkle of an eye, but we're doing a virtual system and I chose the default settings, which is a little underappreciated for this Windows 10. I only choose 2 gigs of RAM. Alright, because everything is shared from the host system, so you don't want to give the virtual machine too much of the host machine resources. Alright, so you just have to have that in mind. Have to completely or successfully have a good virtual machine, the host system must be or have adequate resources to share for both itself and the virtual machine. Okay, you got that? So in order for the host system to thrive and the virtual system to thrive, the host system must have adequate resources to share to the virtual system. Yeah, right. So in other words, you must have a lot of resources once you have a virtual system. Alright, so installation is just about completed. Alright, just let me see if I can maximize this window so we can. Alright, so we're starting services now, and it's very important to, once we've completed an installation, ensure that it runs. Alright, just make sure that it runs so that you won't have any issues when you have to hand it over to your clients and whatnot. Alright, so we're just about completed. It's normal for the installation to reboot several times. That's a normal process. Alright, so that shows momentum. That shows we're just about completed once it reboots a few times. So that's quite normal. Alright, so we're just about finished with the Windows 10 installation. We just have a few boxes that we have to check. But as I have indicated previously, the speed of this installation would be dependent on the resources that you would have selected at the initial setup. Alright, so I have selected 2 gigs of RAM for the memory and 50 gigs hard drive. So this would be the end result of me going with that selection. Alright, it will take a little while because it's sharing the host machine resources and it's pulling resources of its own to run this VM, which is virtual machine, being Windows 10, that is. So we're just about complete. And also to note that the ISO file, it's not on the local hard drive, it's on a removable media, which also would cost for the time. Alright, so great. Now we are completed with the installation. Here is now where we customize the installation. We're going to choose the region US, yes. And this is just basic information that the operating system requires. Alright, just to show you, we are using a virtual machine, alright, whereby we have the host system running in the background. Alright, it's also asking for some more customization. We're gonna go US International, yes. We wouldn't add any additional keyboard layouts. And click skip that. Just to show you demonstration, we are using a virtual machine, Oracle VirtualBox, sorry, that is, and we're installing Windows 10 whilst running the host machine in the background. Alright, let me just maximize it again. Alright, great. So we have completed the installation, and this also is part of the basic installation process. So for now, I don't have the network cable plugged in, so we're just going to click I don't have internet. Right, so at this point it's asking you to sign in with your Microsoft account. For the purpose of this demonstration, we're just gonna not use a Microsoft account, so continue with the limited setup. We're going to select that option. Alright, so we're gonna now create a profile now, an account, a local account, not a Microsoft account, a local account. Alright, I'm just gonna give it a name. Alright, a password. Remember security. We're gonna retype that password. Alright, password doesn't match. I'm going to try that again. Alright, security questions. Oh, so for the purpose of this demonstration, we're just gonna use the same answer for all. Just choose 3 security questions. But it is also it's good to customize it for the user so that they would know exactly when they read the question, they'll know the answer to it. Alright, so you just want to customize this step with your client / user so that they will know exactly what the answers are in case they get locked out of the system. That's more or less would give them access by identifying themselves. That's a verification step whereby in the event that you do forget your password, you can also answer. Only you would know the answer to that security question. Alright, but for the purpose of this video, educational purpose, we're just gonna use the same answer for all the questions. Right, so this is whereby now you get a little more personalized with some of the settings for this system. Like for the purpose of this, we're just gonna turn off the diagnostic data, the inking and typing, advertising ad, and the tailored experience. Right, but in some cases you want to include all of that in the video, in the settings, so that you would have that customized experience for that. But for the purpose of this video and because I'm running on a virtual machine which is using resources, I don't want to have the resources constraint. Alright, so I'm just going to take off a few of the settings and click accept. Alright, so it's finalizing. Here is where now it just finalizes, and we should be able to use the windows momentarily now. Alright, Cortina, it's like a personal assistant. We don't need access right now, so we're going to click not now. Alright, you can also do some more research on what Cortina does. It's it is a personalized assistant, something like a kind of personal aid assistant. Alright, and this should be it. They're still trying to finalize a few more things. Let me just maximize so we can see full screen what we're doing. Alright, the process was a little lengthy, alright, because I'm running the ISO from a removable media, a flash drive, so it wasn't on the hard drive itself, and that by itself being on a removable disk, it will take a little longer to actually get the data transferred across and files reading and stuff like that. Alright, so we are in the process of finalizing. Let me just see what the notifications. Alright, so this was mouse integration and keyboard capture. These are just notifications from the VM stating that it's using it from the host machine. Leave everything to us. Process takes a while. Alright, so you can see the specs of this VM. It's a 50 gig drive. Alright, that has 2 gigs of RAM. Alright, so hence the reason why it's running like it's using the network card that it has. and also using the audio that the system has. So it's just finalizing here. Okay, great. So our operating system is finally installed and we have it. So it comes in. Let me just maximize it. Do you want to allow? Yes, we're gonna allow the network to be discovered. Right, maybe later. And there we have it. We have Windows 10 installed and running on a VM system. Let me just double check, ensure that it is running. Alright, so we're gonna go on systems. And about. So it has i7 processor, 2 gigs of RAM. Alright, so we're gonna up the RAM in a subsequent installation. We're gonna see how it runs. Windows 10 Pro. Alright, so guys, thank you so much. And that's how we install Windows 10 on a virtual system.